Walton Writing. Lesson 2, Expository Writing. Someone courageous. Reading 1. And Frank was a brave girl who lived a long time ago during a very hard time. She and her family had to hide because people were being treated unfairly. Even though it was scary, and stayed hopeful and kind. She showed courage in many ways. First of all, she stayed strong even when she was scared. And her family lived in a small, secret room to stay safe. They couldn't go outside, make loud noises, or see their friends. That would be hard for anyone, especially a young girl. But Anne was brave. She helped keep her family happy, even during sad times. Moreover, she told truth in her diary, even in bad situations, and wrote in it almost every day while she was hiding. She talked about her dreams, her family, and what life was like. Writing helped her stay hopeful. Her diary became a famous book that teaches people about what she went through. Lastly, she believed in goodness, even when life was unfair, and didn't let fear or sadness make her angry. She believed that people could still be kind. That is a very brave thing to do, especially during a scary time. Her positive heart helped her stay strong. In conclusion, Anne Frank showed courage in many ways. She stayed strong, she wrote her true feelings, and she believed in kindness. Even though she lived in a hard time, her story still helps people today, and showed us how to be brave and hopeful no matter what. Reading 2. Rosa Parks was a very courageous woman who changed history. In 1955, she refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man in Montgomery, Alabama. At that time, unfair laws treated black people badly, and Rosa Parks took a stand against them. In this essay, I will explain 3 reasons why she was so courageous. First of all, she stood up for her rights. Rosa bravely stood up for what she believed in. Even though she knew she could get in trouble, she refused to move to the back of the bus just because of her skin color. She believed that all people should be treated equally. Her brave action helped start a big change in the country. Secondly, she stayed calm in a frightening situation. It was not easy for Rosa Parks to stay calm when the bus driver called the police. Most people would have been very scared, but Rosa stayed strong and peaceful. She didn't yell or fight. Instead, she let her quiet strength speak louder than words. That takes a lot of courage. Lastly, she inspired others. Rosa Parks' courage made a big difference. Her actions helped start the Montgomery bus boycott, where many people stopped riding the buses to protest unfair laws. She showed others that one person can make a big change. Her bravery gave other people hope and strength. In conclusion, Rosa Parks was a truly courageous person. She stood up for what was right, stayed calm under pressure, and helped other people be brave too. Because of her, the world became a better place. She showed that courage can change history. Reading 3. Galileo Galilei was one of the most courageous scientists in history. He lived in a time when people believed the Earth was the center of the universe. Galileo disagreed and worked very hard to prove himself. In this essay, I will explain 3 reasons why Galileo was a courageous person. First of all, Galileo challenged what people believed for hundreds of years. Most people in the 1600s believed what the church taught, that the Earth was at the center of everything. Galileo studied the stars and planets with a telescope and found evidence that this was wrong. He believed in the ideas of another scientist, Copernicus, who said the sun was at the center. It took courage for Galileo to speak out against something that so many people believed. Secondly, Galileo stood up for science and reason. Galileo didn't just guess. He used observations and experiments to prove his ideas. He believed that people should learn from facts, not just from what others told them. In a time when questioning the church was dangerous, Galileo stood strong and shared what he discovered. He helped start a new way of thinking, where people used evidence to understand the world. Finally, he faced punishment for telling the truth. When Galileo shared his discoveries, church leaders were angry. They said his ideas were dangerous. In 1633, they forced him to say he was wrong. even though he knew he was right. He spent the rest of his life under house arrest, not allowed to teach or publish his work. Even then, he never gave up on science. That shows true courage. In conclusion, Galileo Galilei was a brave scientist who changed the way we see the world. He stood up for the truth, even when it was risky. He challenged old ideas, trusted science, and accepted punishment instead of staying silent. Galileo's courage made a difference for all of us, and he is remembered as a hero of science.